What is going on, everybody? It's the Franz, and we're here for a Monday Night Raw review for last night's episode of January 11, 2020. How was WWE going to follow up with what happened last week, that utter disaster of Legends Night? Well, we started off with, earlier in the day, Drew McIntyre has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, this is the first time WWE has mentioned somebody in their company testing positive for COVID-19. Well, it's the WWE Champion. You kind of have to let people know why a guy who was scheduled on this night to respond to Goldberg and to wrestle Randy Orton in the main event is not on the show. You just can't have him disappear and be like, oh, well, Drew McIntyre, blah, blah, blah. No, they had to have him mention it. Now, they used Drew McIntyre in this show tonight, to advocate for social distancing and mask wearing. To which I say, you are fucking hypocrites. You are going to sit there and have your WWE champion tell me and anyone else to mask up and social distance when last week in the fucking main event on the fucking stage, you had about 15 legends and Alicia Fox sitting shoulder to shoulder with no mask. Drew McIntyre tested positive on Saturday or Sunday. Guess what? He probably had COVID-19 last week. So, you're going to sit there and tell me what to fucking do when you have your legends and Alicia Fox sitting out there shoulder to shoulder, buddying up and everything? Fuck off. Stop telling me what to fucking do. You're not my fucking boss. That is just so hypocritical to have for them to sit there and go, oh, well, it's going to take all of us to mask up and social distance when you have fucking 15 old farts sitting on the stage, watching a match, shoulder to shoulder, buddied up and everything. Piss off. Now, the show ends up with Triple H because we have no Drew McIntyre. We had to have Triple H come out. I feel this would have been Drew McIntyre's spot to come out here and talk about the match that Goldberg announced for, challenged for last week. Now, we did hear from Drew McIntyre again later in the show. And he's like, I didn't want to accept the match between Drew McIntyre and Goldberg because why would I want to do that? That'd be like you challenging yourself in your prime, and do you really want to do that? But then you put your hands on me and you left me no choice. So yes, I accept your challenge, and it's going to be Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre at the Royal Rumble. It's kind of fucked up because both world title matches at the Royal Rumble are two matches I don't want to see. I really don't want to see Adam Pearce take on Roman Reigns. I don't want to see Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre. One of the two biggest shows of the year, and WWE is going to have Drew McIntyre face Goldberg. What were they thinking? So Triple H comes out before he can really say anything. Out comes Randy Orton, who mentions the fact that he was supposed to have a big match, but of course that's not going to happen tonight. And he wants Triple H to do one of three things. Fight him, make him the number 30 spot in the Royal Rumble, or hand him the WWE Championship. Triple H says that I'm not going to hand you the title, so you have to win the Royal Rumble any way you can. And as is for the fight, as he was asked a little bit later, it doesn't benefit him. He's not happy with the fact that Randy Orton was humiliating Ric Flair and all these legends last week. And I'm sitting here thinking, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Trip? You are surprised that a guy like Randy fucking Orton is going to go out there and humiliate all these legends, kick them while they're down, when he's been doing it for next to 2 decades. Just a head scratcher right there. So, Randy Orton, Triple H is about to leave. Randy Orton says, well, I guess you can't do anything tonight because Stephanie's not here and you can't get your balls out of her purse. Got to go with that line, of course. Triple H comes back, whacks him in the face, and Randy Orton walks away, saying, I guess that's a yes. So, yes, that will be your main event tonight. Good fucking grief. So, we go to our next segment, which is seeing what happened last week between Ric Flair, his daughter, and everything going on there with Lacey Evans buddying, like, flirting with Ric Flair. So it's going to lead to a match between Ric Flair's daughter, Charlotte, and Lacey Evans. And I'm thinking, what the hell did we do to deserve this torture? And also, what is with this whole having Lacey Evans flirt with Ric Flair? The woman is married and has a kid. It's been established in continuity of WWE, and yet WWE wants to think we're stupid that Lacey Evans is going to flirt with an old man like Ric Flair. Give me a break. So, you have this match. Halfway through it, Ric Flair comes down. Good fucking grief. Why does he have to be down here? Long story short, Lacey Evans, Charlotte goes for a suplex on Lacey Evans from the apron. Ric Flair holds Charlotte's leg, causing Evans to fall on top of Charlotte. Holds it down, 1, 2, 3. Lacey Evans gets the win. Charlotte Flair screwed by her own daddy for whatever fucking reason. By the way, Charlotte's not the singles champion. She is one of the half of the tag team champions, so this still doesn't make any fucking sense. No Asuka tonight. No Peyton Royce. A lot of double duty tonight for the rest of the show. A lot of it. After the match, Lacey and Rick leave. We're going to have Jeff Hardy versus Elias back from break, and we see Lacey happy in WWE Hall of Fame, Ric Flair in the back. We asked what the hell just happened. She says she thinks she will change at the hotel. They keep walking and strutting away, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I don't want to see Ric Flair on my television. He got punted in the head last summer. Took him off TV. Needs to stay off TV. He brings nothing but head-scratching boringness to the show. But of course, like I said, they were going up against the NCAA National Championship, Ohio State versus Alabama. Would I rather watch that game? Even though I know Ohio State was probably going to get demolished. Yeah. That game was probably more entertaining than what we had to do with the last 3 hours on a Monday. Terrible, terrible fucking show. And we continue on here. We get a look back at last week's title match. Caleb Braxton is in the back with Lee, now asking how he bounces back from his loss. Before he can even say anything, Sheamus interrupts, and then tension between the two. He says, Lee earned Drew's respect last week, and if Drew respects him, so does Sheamus. He wants to have a match, but here comes Miz and Morrison. They run their mouths, and we get a tag team match for later in the show. Jeff Hardy's out here for the first time, and I think since his return with Matt at WrestleMania a couple years ago, not wearing face paint. His neck might be painted up a little bit, but no face paint, which is kind of weird just seeing Jeff without his face paint on. He comes out, he's waiting for Elias. Out comes Elias, who says, I have a debilitating injury from recording earlier, so you're going to be facing Jackson Ryker instead. Okay, that's fine. Why don't we just do Jackson Ryker versus Jeff Hardy in the first place? Why? Why not? So, you have this match. It doesn't even last, I swear, it doesn't even last 2 minutes. We get a distraction from Elias. Ryker takes advantage, rolls up Hardy. 1, 2, 3. Because he was holding the tights, but he also got help from Elias. So, yeah. I'm like, well, that was quick. After the match, Elias heads to the ramp on Ryker. Hardy takes the mic and tells Elias to come face him. He says it's not the injury, it's Elias' word that Jackson Ryker is better than him. And then Elias tells him to stay out of the match, Ryker to stay out of the match. Don't get involved because he's going to beat Hardy. He heads to the ring and we go to commercial break. So this was the first of the theme of double duty tonight. Jeff Hardy was double duty tonight along with the others. So we have this match and this goes a little bit longer. It actually goes a bit longer. Jeff Hardy was beaten by Jackson Ryker in no time. And the reason they did that is because they didn't want him to be completely exhausted. Because they were going to have him do this double duty thing with Elias. But in the end, Twist of Fate. Hold on, where'd it go? Twist of Fate, out of nowhere, goes to the top, hits the Swanton, 1, 2, 3. After the match, he goes to the ramp. He taunts Elias. Ryker checks on Elias, who says, why didn't you help me? Where were you? Why didn't you help me? Ryker's like, You told me not to get involved. You told me not to get into the match. Well, Elias, you told him not to get involved, and he didn't get involved. Sheamus and Keith Lee versus John Morrison then will be happening in a bit. We see Orton's challenge to Triple H earlier. And then we get the match, Keith Lee and Sheamus versus Miz and Morrison. So, first and foremost, Miz and Morrison are cringe. Whenever they're like doing promos on TV, I have to because usually I watch on my phone through a Spectrum app or some other app, and I'm using headphones. I have to pull the headphones out of my ears because I cannot stand Miz and Morrison. Like, I feel so bad for Morrison because he made his return this time last year. Yeah, this time last year, and the fact that he's been saddled for a year working with The Miz as the cringiest of the cringe is just sad because this guy could be worth so much more. But he gave up being a world champion anywhere else. Being possibly one of the greats outside of WWE to come to WWE to be a comedy act. You gotta feel bad for the dude. Now, as you know, big two guys beating up on two small guys. In the end, Keith Lee is going for something. Sheamus tags in, hits the bro kick. Keith Lee is just laughing the whole time. He's got this giggle. He's like giggling. He's like, that son of a bitch got me. I was gonna do this. I didn't. I was gonna get the win, and that motherfucker took the win. So they win. They're all jovial. They're all celebrating. We come back from commercial break, and it went from jovial and great and celebration to, motherfucker, you out my way, I'm going to get in your way, we're going to have a fight right now, and we have a match. So Sheamus and Keith Lee are pulling double duty. Before we do that, we got Sarah Shire backstage talking to Triple H and asking about Randy Orton's challenge. Triple H goes on and says, since Orton can't get it in his head what legends should mean to him, that paved the way for the others. If Orton wants to call him out and see if he still has what it takes, then yes, Triple H will drop that match on Orton every single time. He accepts the challenge on behalf of the legends who stepped in the ring before him, and we go to commercial break. Now, last week we had Bill Goldberg come out and say that Drew McIntyre was thinking about disrespecting the legends and saying shit that he thinks he was better than them better than they are in their prime. It made no sense because Drew McIntyre wasn't able to put his promo out there. Now, Randy Orton the entire night last week was disrespecting legends left, right, and center. Why did Goldberg not come out after his match? Why did Goldberg not come out and attack him? Why did he not challenge Randy Orton to a match at the Royal Rumble? It's questions like this that just make no fucking sense. The whole Goldberg attacking thing makes no sense. And still this week, it makes no sense. So, like I said, we had Keith Lee versus Sheamus. For some reason, they were just going at each other. The tension went from, jovial and happiness to, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. This is just a big hoss fight. This was actually a lot of fun to see. This was, I think, this was probably the best part of the show. Just two big men beating the hell out of each other. Lee tries to go up for a Spanish fly. Sheamus rocks him. He climbs up, but Sheamus knees Lee to the mat. He hits a flying clothesline. Sheamus then follows up with a knee strike to close 2 count. He grounds Lee again, focused on the left arm. Lee keeps fighting, uses one arm to lift Sheamus up, dropping him. Then he picks him up, hits the spirit bomb, 1, 2, 3, and Keith Lee is your winner. After the match, Sheamus recovers. Lee stands tall. He puts the fist out for the fist bump. Sheamus knocks it away, and they embrace in a hug. So, there's that. Got the Drew McIntyre accepting Goldberg's challenge. I really don't care. Matt Riddle's backstage with Lucha House Party ranting about tonight's match with Bobby Lashley. They end up wishing him good luck and walking off. He thanks them with more comedy stoner stuff. Apparently, Kofi Kingston has a broken jaw. I'm not sure how true that is. But it leaves Xavier Woods by himself to take on T-Bar. Even though for the last month and a half, it's been Ricochet being attacked by and facing off against Retribution in multiple losing efforts. Would Xavier Woods have any other better luck? Hell no. Xavier Woods gets almost no offense in. He does look like he's about ready to come do something. But of course, Retribution gets involved, and Retribution helps T-Bar get the win. Here's my problem with that. T-Bar is huge. T-Bar is like twice the size of Xavier Woods. This guy should be beating Xavier Woods by himself and showing how dominant of a member he can be for Retribution. So dumb. Sales Travers backstage with Randy Orton asking him his reaction to Triple H accepting the challenge. He mentions their history and goes on about how he's able to direct his hate towards Triple H. Back from break, we see what happened between Triple H and Randy Orton because we got to throw that out there again. And then we have Bobby Lashley versus Matt Riddle. Now, this match happened because of what happened last week with Matt Riddle getting the early offense in, tapping out to the hurt lock, but the referee not seeing it. And ended up rolling up Bobby Lashley. Okay, so why wasn't this put to the Rumble? So, just like last week, but in reverse, Lashley gets the upper hand from the start, beats the hell out of Riddle. Matt Riddle hardly gets any offense in. Quick match, Bobby Lashley gets a tap win, and that is that. After the match, Lashley stands tall. MVP brings the title as we go to replays. Apparently, MVP kicks Riddle while he's down. MVP and Lashley match much to the back as Riddle takes the mic. He says maybe he couldn't beat Lashley tonight, but he can beat MVP. MVP's like, oh, this is what you want, huh? Takes his jacket off, puts his sleeves up, and we're going to have Matt Riddle versus MVP, which doesn't go that long. Matt Riddle wins by DQ as Lashley hits a big spear out of nowhere. Outside of Keith Lee and Sheamus, because you couldn't really have a 50-50 there. They did a lot of 50-50 booking these double duties. Matt Riddle won, lost one, won one. Jeff Hardy lost one, won one. Just... The announcer shows highlights of last week's Adam Pearce becoming #1 contender. Still don't understand why they're doing that. Pearce is backstage with AJ Styles now. AJ wonders who can toss him from the Royal Rumble. The 30-man Rumble with almost at his ringside. AJ says if Pearce gets lucky enough, he can beat Reigns for the title and then defend against AJ at WrestleMania. Pearce is more worried about now, not the Rumble, as it is a couple weeks away. Jugular walks up and announces his spot for the Royal Rumble. And Gulak points out how AJ was allowed to declare his spot. AJ says that's because he's a two-time WWE champion. Who has Gulak defeated? Gulak is glad he asked because he brought a flash drive to explain his victories. Pearce ends up saying Gulak can have a Rumble spot if he can beat AJ tonight. Pearce walks off, almost appears, and stares Gulak down. AJ is all smiles as we go to the commercial break. So we have AJ Styles versus Drew Gulak. I see Gulak changed his ring attire from shorts to pants. So, short little match here. AJ Styles gets the win with the phenomenal forearm. Gulak was laying outside. Almost puts his foot in front of Gulak. And the look on Gulak's face is as if he saw the most horrifying thing in his fucking life. You saw a man put his foot in front of you, and he just, like, his eyes got wide, his mouth open, like, oh my god, what the hell is this? Like, dude, it's a man's foot. Are you, it's like, it'd be one thing if almost was, like, was barefoot, and he, like, his foot was disgusting or something. But it was a guy's boot. And you're sitting there freaking out like it's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life. Wow, Gulak, wow. After the match, AJ stands tall and the music hits, almost joins him in the ring as we go to replays. Back from Manx, and the analysis leads to a video package of the career and dominance of Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg. Next, Triple H is backstage when Keith Lee approaches him saying he needs to talk to Triple H. He goes on about how how dangerous Orton is. Says ever since he came to WWE, Triple H has been there for him. So maybe it's time to be here for Triple H. He says Triple H does not have to do this. I'm already 2 matches in for the night and don't mind doing a third. Tells Triple H to let him get his hands on Orton again. Triple H says he appreciates that, but he does have to do this. He's made his mess and he has to clean it up. Says he's got this. He's got this. Lee hands Triple H his leather jacket and says it's time to play the game. Triple H says damn straight and heads out. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax versus Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose. Can we just get this whole entire tag team with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler done and over with? Get the tag team titles off of Charlotte Flair and Asuka onto, I don't even care if it's the Riot Squad, somebody else, and book Shayna Baszler versus Asuka like we've been wanting to see. Maybe for WrestleMania, I don't know. But Shayna Baszler is worth way more than this entire fucking title, this entire tag team thing they're doing with her right now. So Nia Jax then win, Kofi the clutch, done. Then we go to our main event. Triple H versus Randy Orton. Triple H is out there ready to fight, jeans, t-shirt, put up gloves, taped up hands. He hits Randy Orton once. Orton comes back, goes out of the ring, comes back in. They fight for a bit. Triple H goes under the ring and grabs his sledgehammer. He gets ready to come into the ring and the lights start to go down. This main event part had to have been taped earlier. Because Triple H, the lights going down, Triple H has a sledgehammer. He brings it up and for some reason it's on fire. Not the handle, which is made of wood. The metal piece is on fire. Okay, weird. Lights go down. Lights come back up. Triple H is nowhere to be seen. And in the corner is Alexa Bliss. Orton's walking, just not knowing what to do. She puts up her hand that says pain. And then with the other one, shoots him in the face with a fireball. What? Does Vince McMahon have some kind of sick obsession with fire right now? She shot him with a fireball. What's the next stipulation going to be, huh? What is the next stipulation for this shit going to be? Because I am over this Randy Orton and Fiend feud. I am over it completely. Let's move on to something else. All I know is that was a terrible way to end this show. But this is Monday Night Raw, and it's never going to get better until Vince McMahon is gone. I want to know how many people actually are infected with who have COVID-19 or contact tracing, because there was a lot of double duty tonight, and that just tells me that there was a lot of outbreak. There was an outbreak of some kind, and there was a lot of people who aren't available. I mean, you had the entire group of Retribution there. You could have had them sprint off and face Gulak, face AJ, face Xavier Woods, face anybody. But no, they decided to do double duty. But Monday Night Raw, done and over with. Hit that subscribe button. Comment down below. Like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds, M-I-N-D-S. Find me on Minds, Instagram, and Twitch. And I'll see you at the France Club. And I'll see you guys Wednesday for AEW's New Year's Smash Night 2. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.